Good morning. Welcome to church. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by going to YouTube Live chat, and I can respond to your questions and comments today. And good morning to everybody here.
Good morning.
How y'all? Good. Oh, good. Dallon.
Yeah.
Your tickets are on your desk. Your parking tickets.
Oh, okay. I don't think
You got all these tickets from the courthouse. Anyway, I made some notes about some things that I observed this week, and they are very, very important things, and I want to get to them. But first, do anybody have any questions or comments, or did you have a life this week, or you had a life? Oh, good. One person had a life. So Satan only messed with one person. All right. Yes, sir.
I just noticed just this week more than normal that when I caught myself in the moment, the answer was there for me to do the next thing, opposed to trying to figure out what the next thing for me to do was. As I was just in the moment, I seen what exactly I should do, and I didn't overreact to it, like, oh, I got to do this, or whatever the case is. I just knew that it had to be done, and I went and did it, even though I knew it took a little effort. But because I didn't think about it overly, and I just did it, it happened naturally, opposed to me trying to plan it.
Yeah.
So I seen how it's hard to just see sometimes how being in the moment and letting go of your thought of what you wanted to do, it's hard to tell yourself, okay, to do, because you think you're going to forget and you're going to mess up your whole entire whatever you had planned. But I tried it, and actually it worked. It's
Oh,
real.
good. And I'm going to tell you why, but I was thinking this week, if we never listen to a thought, whether right or wrong, if you never listen to one, you can never make a mistake. If you avoid every thought, you would be perfect. You would never make a mistake. Everything you do would be perfect. Every person you hook up would be perfect. It will all be good. And the only reason we make one mistake in life, we make bad decisions because we go into the imagination. That's the only thing that's holding us back. If you never listen to your imagination, you could never make a mistake. Isn't that amazing? It's just that simple. It's so simple that people think it's something else. You gotta have something else. I have some perfect examples of it in a minute. But you're absolutely right. Did you listen to Joel's radio show this morning? Anybody? Oh, you heard it, Mark? How was it?
Good.
It was good. Yeah, it was interesting. It was funny, I mean, not funny, but kind of funny, when he was talking about dating, and all three of them were talking about how their mothers made them date these girls. And then they want to, well, I don't know if you said your mother.
Yeah.
But Joel and
James and Esteban.
Esteban and James. That was a remarkable story to me. But if you haven't heard their shows, James, Joel, and Esteban has a Sunday morning show here, and it's on from 9 to 10 Pacific time. Very, very interesting. I watched it this morning. It was really good. And I'm glad that they were doing it because we need like young, common sense people on the air too, you know? Instead of all this madness that's on the air by young people all the time. We need something to counteract that. And so right now they're doing a good job at it. What did you think about it? What did you learn from it?
I learned that music is, like James was saying, people who are really into music are typically immature people. And I took that as people who are really into music to be synonymous with people who are really into feelings.
Yeah.
Like they really want to escape. They're like, man, did you really feel the way I felt, in that moment? It's
Yeah.
like, and it just made sense. They brought up that parallel, and Esteban, talks in his way. The spirit of the music comes to you, and then Joel. I mean, I just think the three just work together. Well.
Music is like a drug.
Right.
Just like soothe the pain for a minute.
Right, and like how Esteban was talking about when he was working, right before he started working, he had to have his earphones on. And right after he got off, he'd put them right back on. And even like during work while he's talking to people, he's like singing the song in his head, you know,
Yeah.
to like just to get through the day, you know, get through the job.
It's like when you get in your car, once you turn the ignition on, the very second thing you do is reach for the radio. It's like your hand goes up by itself. And that music soothes you for while you're in the car alone.
Right, and it's occurred to me before because you've mentioned that before, where if you're going through it or whatever and you're in the car, do not put on music.
Yeah.
Do not call a friend. Do not pull over and buy a
Just go
smoothie
through
or
it.
something. Just sit there until you see it, why you're upset or why you're going through it.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're riding in the car. How many people turn the music on right away? But now most people get in the car with the headsets already on, right? No. But you should be aware of that because it's all preventing you from returning to the Father. It really is. Yes, Ed.
So I have a question about imagination and decisions. When you're faced with like in my case right now, faced with a business decision, right? And I do all the sitting quietly and watching my thoughts and that sort of thing. But when you're looking at business, one of the things you consider is potential for building a business. I really have a tough time trying to stay out of my imagination, thinking about how it could be, how great something could be, how I could run into great partners, how we could do this deal. It's very difficult for me to separate that set of thoughts from myself. And I don't quite know how to, I don't know quite.
Just let them go. That's all. There's no other way. Just know every thought you get about anything, let it go.
It's not easy to do.
It is if you practice living that way. That's why God said, be present with him at all time. Pray without ceasing. And so if you practice being with him at all time, then it becomes easy to do that.
It's rather
because
humble.
you
It's
know
rather
his
humbling.
voice from the devil's voice.
Yeah, the devil makes you think you're a pretty cool guy.
Right.
It
And that's
really
what he
does.
wants you to think.
Yeah, it does.
It's- He has something to say about all things. Because he's the light. In his mind, he's being God. So he has something to say, but everything he says is wrong. I was watching a program last night about dating or something. And this husband and wife, elderly couple, was talking about how her husband is a doctor, and when he was younger, they were like living well, making a lot of money, and two job offers came up for him. One was in Washington, D.C., where he would go and make buku money, live well, and another one was the military. The military wanted him to come in and be a doctor there for them, which meant that he would have to move overseas. And so the husband asked, and they were both sitting there, and the husband asked the wife at that time, when they were very young, what should I do? Should I go to D.C. or to the military? And he said normally his wife made the decisions, but this time the wife told him, oh no, honey, you make the decision. You make the decision. And so she left it alone, and the husband made the decision. And the decision was to go to the military. And when she found out he had made that decision, she hit the ceiling. She said she went dead off. I should have made it. And that's the decision you made? I can't believe it. I never thought you would make that decision. And she just gave him pure hell about it because he had made the wrong decision, according to her, right? And so, but since he had made the decision, they had to go along with it. And when they went, she said it was the best time of her life for she and her children because they got a good education. They were able to see other aspects of life by traveling around the world. And it just worked out very well. And what's my reason for saying? Oh, my reason for saying is that you got to see the right thing to do and just do it, not based on what anyone else say or think for you. But that means you can't go with your mind either. every time, not one time it works out. Every time you make a decision based on your imagination, it's wrong. You're bringing on extra problems for yourself. You're going down the wrong road. You're taking that wide road that leads to destruction. It is wrong every time. Every time. Isn't that amazing? There's not one time you can do it. If it tells a woman, this is your husband, you better let him go today. Or it tells a husband, this is your wife, let her go today. It's the wrong one. Or whatever it might be. All right? It's always 100% wrong. That's why God said, bring every thought into captivity. Every one of them. He didn't say, okay, let the negative ones go and hold on to the good ones. There's no such thing. They're all setups. Isn't that amazing? Yes, sir.
Oh, hi. I always give this illustration, like if there was an earthquake and you ended up on top of the rubble and you see like medical tents, but then you also hear someone calling for you below the rubble, what do you do? As a dilemma, say, oh, and the answer I've found is that like before it would have been, I would sit there and think about it too long until we both died, trying to figure out the answer. But now it's just, I pray today, so when the time happens, God will instinctively move me to do the right answer without thinking.
That's right. 100%. The way you live today in the presence of God will prepare you for the next situation, without a doubt. What people are not telling you, life is not, you can't change your life. You can't make decisions. You're not in control. Life is not trying to hold on to anything. It's about letting go of all things. You can't figure it out. You can't make it right. They have this thing now. I start with making myself better from within. You don't make yourself better from within. You don't do anything. Really. All egos think that they can do something. And you can't. It's all a lie. I was thinking about the hurricanes that happened. The hurricane, I don't know if we have one. Is it happening in Florida today?
Yes.
Oh, it did reach Florida? Oh. And I was thinking about how vulnerable we are. We're really not in control of anything. At any time, your life could be taken just like that. Just imagine driving up and down the road. Some crazy thing just kill you. Or being at a party, some nut can just shoot you. Or being at a cafe. I mean, or being in your own home, the roof could fall in on you. You're really just not in control of anything, but we like to think that we are, and we're not. And I think that's why the ego tries so hard to hold on to things, because it likes to feel that it's in control, and it's not. You're not. You can get sick just right here and die. I hope you don't in this building, because I don't like dead bodies here. I think that the ghost stays when the body leaves, so don't die here. But you really should just die just like that. You're not, but the ego thinks that you're in control, and you're not. You don't make anything happen. If God didn't want it to happen, it would not be happening. If he got mad, let's say Jesus went down to Cafe Mocha this morning, picked up some coffee, and God like, all right, I'll get the TV ready and everything so we can see what those fools doing down there today. And they turn the TV on, and they're just looking like, wow, that's amazing. They think they're in control. If you think about it, and that's what it means to fear the Lord. When you reflect, you really see that you're not in control of anything. It's so amazing to see it too. It's about don't control nothing. Don't try to control another person. If you're in a relationship, if that person want to be with you, they're going to be with you. If they don't want to be with you, they're not going to be with you. No matter what you do, you can give up all the sex, all the money, all the food, all the trips. You got these foolish men paying for women trips, and the women are using them. They're like, oh yeah, I love you, you're so cute. And they're having sex with everybody and their daddy on the side. You can't, it has to be natural. Even God can't make us love him, so how can you make another human being love you? Why suffer through something you have no control over? Relax. What? What's wrong with y'all? That makes sense? If you got to fight with somebody to be with them, let them go. Baby, please, baby, please. I remember once I wanted to commit suicide over a woman. Can you imagine? Look what I would have missed out on. I could see myself going through the light if God had allowed me to die. And I would have seen this life. And I'd been like, wow. And then he would show me what else to come, right? But I've killed my foolish self over a woman, and now she's out there with some other man. Killing him. Or vice versa for women too. Don't kill yourself over a man. Anyway, any man that have sex with you ladies before marriage will cheat on you after marriage. I want you ladies to know that. If you with a guy and you find out that he has had sex with somebody else, say goodbye. Don't think that the Lord is going to fix it and he's going to be a good husband. It's not going to happen. So just think about it. If he doesn't have self-control while dating you, what makes you think he's going to have self-control after getting you? There's no self-control there. Isn't that right, guys?
Does the same go the other way?
Yes. But we always talk about the ladies. I want to talk about the guys.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Yes, the same goes the other way. There was, I think I talked about it on the radio show, a guy, wife, started cheating with her boss. And all of a sudden she's losing weight, looking all pretty going to work. And the boss, the husband like, I know something ain't right here. She doesn't do this for me. And so he somehow or another got into her cell phone or some type of mobile device and was able to track her everywhere she went and video record what she was doing. So guys and ladies, do not let your boyfriend or your husband or your wife get to your cell phone. Because they know how to get in there and plug in. And you're being followed and don't know it. Another thing I don't like about cell phones, they could dial you up and someone up and you not know that they've dialed the person and the person that it dialed is listening to you. Francisco phone called me twice this weekend. And he didn't even know it. So I'm listening to see what he's into. I'm like, let me see how holy he really is. And then I'm like, hello, hello, and I could hear him in the background, sound like he was working or something. Then I hear hammering and whatever. I'm like, wow, that's scary. Suppose I'm like telling you all I don't have sex, right? And I'm out having sex and my cell phone call you. And I'm like, no, 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 you have no proof. You're like, all right, listen to this. So I don't like these cell phones. I want to go back to land phones.
Payphones.
Something. Yeah, pay phones. But isn't that amazing? So, but anyway, so this man followed his wife to her boyfriend's house, which was the boss' house, and he walked into the house because they so busy they forgot to lock the front door. He walked in on them having sex. Video record, and now the guy may have to go to prison. Like he's going to prison for catching them because the law is, I guess, you can't videotape someone unless they know it. But look like if you cheated, there should be an exception. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Do you have your hand?
Yeah, I agree with what you said, that if you have to fight for that person, you shouldn't be with them. You should just let them go.
Yeah. Have you had to do that before?
Recently, yeah.
What happened?
I don't know where to begin with, but just a couple of days ago, I had to end something that
Listen, I can't hear you.
a couple of days ago, I had to let go of somebody that I really cared about, and I just didn't think it's worth sticking around with that person because, yeah.
So you were able to let it go?
No, kind of the reason I'm here. I'm trying to. I know I'm not a believer, but
You're not
I'm trying
believing what?
in God,
Oh.
but I'm trying to change that.
Right.
I think this is the first step into the right direction.
And so you have some questions about how to let it go or what?
Yeah,
And so you want to let go of a girl?
yeah.
And why do you want to let go of her?
It's complicated, but the person is with somebody else. So
What?
the person is with somebody else.
She's with someone else?
Yeah,
Was she with someone else before you came along or when you came along?
yeah.
Well, ain't nothing to let go. You never had it.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't that right?
Right.
Did you know she was involved with someone else before you got involved?
Yeah.
Well, boy, that's easy. You never had it. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
So
right.
let go of the imagination.
Right.
Why do you think you have someone that already has someone?
But it wasn't like that in the beginning. We're just friends. And then time passed, and I guess we started getting closer, and at some point it had to end. Yeah.
So you guys were friends before,
Yeah.
and during this friendship, you knew she had a boyfriend,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you wanted to be her boyfriend?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Like I said, we were just friends. It was nothing planned. It's time. Passed, and we got closer, and we fell for one another.
You fell for one another?
Yeah.
How did you fall for?
What do you mean?
But how would you fall for somebody else's woman?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Meaning that you fell in love with her?
Yeah.
And why would you fall in love with somebody else's woman?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Oh, you don't know why you did it?
No.
Oh. Well, it's easy. Let it go. You never had it.
Right.
It's never been yours. It's wrong to date another man's woman. It never, ever, ever, but never get involved with a woman who's already involved.
Right.
That's nothing but pain you're bringing upon yourself.
Right.
Don't be, that's weak. Is she the only woman around? Where you live?
Yeah.
She's the only one around?
No.
So you couldn't find any other woman without a man? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
There are more women on this earth than there are men. You do know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
And now they have transgenders. So you don't have to date another man's woman.
Right.
And never date a friend. Because once you get involved emotionally with a friend, everything changes.
Yep.
It's no longer a friend.
Mhm.
It's a battle. So just take the pain, realize it was wrong, and that you were wrong. Don't blame her. You were wrong for getting involved, and it'll pass.
Right.
All right?
Right.
And then through that pain that you're having, you will know that there is a God.
Right.
All right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
So don't contact her. Don't respond to any contacts or anything. Are you able to do that?
I'll try.
Because the quicker you do it, the sooner it's over. It's all just part of your imagination. You thought you had something that you didn't have, and your emotions got involved. It's all fake. It's not even real.
Okay.
She never loved you, and you never loved her.
Right.
Because she's no good either. Why would you get with a woman that's cheating on her boyfriend? She's going to cheat on you too. Anytime a man or a woman get with someone else while with someone else, they're no good. You can never trust that. That makes sense?
Right.
She can't trust you because you're willing to cheat on her with her boyfriend, and you can't trust her because she's willing to cheat on her boyfriend, and you will do it to each other.
Right.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
Yeah, will you let it go?
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah.
One more time, you will?
He will.
All right, just take the pain because it's all an illusion. Are you
Right.
doing the silent prayer?
No. I don't know what that is.
Okay, on
It's my first day. I don't.
Yeah, on my website.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is your first day here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, on my website, I have a prayer, the silent prayer. I want you to do it. You don't need to believe in God.
Right.
All right? And the beauty is, you know now that you don't believe in him, so you're going to come into him on your own, not convinced by anyone. So just do the silent prayer and take the pain, you'll be fine. You can download it on my website,
All right.
rebuildingtheman.com.
Okay.
All right? How did you hear about us?
On YouTube.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Right.
Any other question?
What?
You have any other question?
I don't. Maybe, but maybe I'll ask later on.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you this. Just think about it. You're in love with an illusion. You're not in love with the real deal.
Right.
Your ego is in love with a lie. And your ego is not the real you.
Right.
All right?
Okay.
All right. You don't need to tell you that. Come back. Oh, what video on YouTube? Oh, what video on YouTube?
Because you were talking about the relationships between mothers and sons,
Oh.
and how like men who get mad easily. That's not a man's characteristic. It's a learned trait from his mother.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another problem that I have right now. You know, I was alone, and so that person came into my life and changed me, right? So,
Oh, you were alone?
yeah,
And are you just like your mother?
I think so, because I do get mad for the silliest things, and you know, I'm,
Like a woman?
I guess, yeah,
Do you resent your mother?
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
And why?
She brought a lot of pain. She hurt me, so
She hurt you?
Yeah.
In what way?
in every way, you know,
In every way?
physically, emotionally, yeah.
Where's your father?
He's not around.
He's not.
No.
Was he ever around?
Was he what?
Was he ever around?
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
And so, have you forgiven your mother yet?
No.
You have not.
And I don't plan to.
You don't plan to?
No.
You don't plan to forgive your mother?
I've tried multiple times.
By doing what?
You know, sitting down with her and talking to her. You know, this is what I want to improve our relationship, you know, as mother
A
and
little
son.
louder for me.
To improve our relationship as mother and son. And, you know, the next day she just goes back to her old ways.
The
you
next
know?
day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've tried, you know. I've tried looking for help and to no
Oh.
avail. So I'm just trying to change my life and, you know, move out of the house. And
Well, you better be glad you're breaking up with this woman, because all you're doing is going to another mama.
right.
And she's going to hate you because she's going to see that you are a woman. You don't want to get along with your mother. You can't make a deal with mama. You know what I'm saying? You want to forgive her so that God can change your nature so you can be you, and then you can deal with her in the right way,
Right.
not being subject to her.
Right.
You cannot sit down with mama and make a deal. Because it's like making a deal with the devil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but you need to, but you shouldn't have the attitude of never going to forgive her, because you're going to be stuck in that lifestyle.
Maybe in the future, but, you know, at the moment I just want to forgive my father first. You know, I want to make contact with him and, you know, now I understand a little bit more for what he did. You know why. You know.
What did he do?
I want to forgive him and also apologize to him
Oh,
for
okay.
anything I did, any wrong that I did to him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't wait until I got to my father. Your mother's at hand right now. I would do what's in front of me to do.
Right.
Because really, if you forgive your father but don't forgive your mother, you're still going to be a woman. You want the female spirit to leave. So you should just apologize to her for being mad at her for what she's done to you. Because the pain is coming from you being angry at her. Your soul cannot heal until you let the nature of Satan leave by forgiving your mother. Then God would draw you unto him and give you your original nature, which is love all the time. So when you apologize to your mother for being angry at her, really realize that she couldn't help herself, then God will forgive you. Then you'll be free. Don't try to get along with her, because she is not ready for a get-along relationship. She might like the control that she has over you.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get out. You know, trying to move out.
You living with her?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, just how old are you?
20.
20 years old. Before you move, though, try to get over her by forgiving her, and then start speaking up to her. Don't be afraid to speak your mind.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Will you give that a try?
Like what?
Will you try that?
Yeah.
All right. Apologize. Say, hey, little witch, mama witch, I'm sorry for being angry at you for what you've done to me.
Right.
It was wrong, but I become just like you. And I realize you can't help yourself. And I'm sorry. And if you really are sorry, then God will forgive you and your whole world will change. This is for men and women. It will all change. And then you won't end up doing this to your children. Husbands and wives won't repeat that.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because they can't help themselves. They can't see.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, man. Well, welcome.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Rachel, do you have your hand?
Yeah.
Rachel, you lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It's time for a boyfriend.
No
You
boyfriend.
look good.
I haven't been here for a while, and I've been wanting to come, and something always gets in the way.
Yeah.
And today I got up and I just said, I'm going to go if it's your will. And I wasn't rushing. I got up late too, you know. And so I started getting dressed and everything, and the thoughts just got me. You're going to start getting sick. You're going to crash in the freeway. You're too old to go that far. You shouldn't be driving anymore. You're not aware. And I just listened to them and let them go.
Yes.
Got in my car, and I got in my car, it told me, you're going to start getting sick. And I mean, it was working overtime for me not to come.
Yeah.
And I got here, and it was like, oh, wow, you know, if I would have listened to those thoughts.
I know, all lies.
All lies, but they're so real in your head.
I know.
You know.
Isn't that amazing that all lies can seem so real and
Right.
bring on so much conflict?
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me. Jeremiah, will you bring me a towel? Okay. That is mind-blowing that all lies of the imagination can bring on so much conflict.
Right.
And and you just make a fool out of yourself. And then you find out later it was all lies. Now you're in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I understand that.
Yeah, and so I'm beginning to see all those thoughts now.
Yeah.
And they're coming stronger than
Yeah.
before.
But just relax and don't go with them.
That's what I do.
Feel the pain.
Yeah.
Just feel the pain, and God is with you.
I just realized that there's nothing I could do about anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not even pain.
Yeah.
Physical pain, nothing. You just,
Nothing you can do.
nothing.
Do y'all understand that? You got to take the pain.
Yes, you do.
Nothing you can do. Because anything that saves you from the pain, control you. And it's not solving the problem. Can you dash my head? Not too hard. This is my godson, so he can do it. He's a football player. And he got a haircut. You notice that? He got a haircut? Look like he got some sense, huh? Let me just tell you this, and then I move on and on and on. I'm working with someone right now, and nobody knows this person. Nobody knows the person. The person lives in the Middle East. The person lives in Kuwait. And this person has been told all their life that they have some type of disorder.
Right.
And the experts and the parents have fed into that quote-unquote disorder and convinced this person that they can't help it. You have a disorder. And now I'm working with the person that lives in Kuwait, right next door to Saddam Hussein. And I'm like, the same disorder you have, we all have it. And the problem is you live in your imagination and not free from it. And there are some that are more pronounced than others. You know, that's all that it is. Because if you got a lot of anger, you're going to be a lot messed up. If you got a little anger, you're going to be a little messed up. But it's all the same spirit. And so the parents, especially the father, is like a mother to this person. Every time the person makes one mistake, the father saw the problem before the person can feel the loss, can feel the pain of being blinded to the what they've done. And I'm like, why don't you just give the person a chance to suffer? Let them go without. Let them feel the pain of being blind and can't see. Oh no, it's a disorder. I'm like, you are the disorder. Let them, you're in the way. They're worse than the mother. I'm like, let them feel the pain. And they won't do it. And so the person with the same problem that we all have, living in our imagination, when I work with them over in Kuwait, and I'm telling them, you don't have a disorder like what they're telling you. You can get past it. Oh no, I can't. Because I've been told all my life that I have this disorder. And experts have told me this, and my parents told me this. I'm like, but it's not true. It's just you've been told that all your life. And honestly, it's only an imagination problem because it's based on anger and loss in the thought. And so I say this to say, don't let anyone tell you you can't overcome this. Really. Don't let anyone tell you, no doctor, no professional, no daddy, no mama. If you be still and know God, you can overcome. It's all in the mind and it's all spiritual. It's a deceiver lying to you. But we got experts who have been paid thousands of dollars to tell you that you're sick. And they tell little children that, and the little children are growing up believing it, and now they are bastard cases. And the parents are going along with it. Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing?
In Kuwait.
Mm-hmm. In Kuwait.
Is the disorder being Muslim?
That's a good question. So you're right, Rachel, absolutely. It's just all imagination.
Right.
All right?
And also, too, I haven't depended on my kids.
Good.
I do everything. I'm very...
Doesn't that feel better?
Oh,
Let your
I
kids
love
go
it.
live their lives. Don't
Love
worry
it.
about it. If they die,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I can't do nothing about that either.
That's right.
You know, and so I'm happy now by myself in my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to go running now and doing different things to get
That's
away
foolish.
from me. Yeah, it is
So you
foolish.
have kids past 18 years old, let them go. If they die, they're just dead.
Yes, that's right.
If you can make it to the funeral, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you pay for the funeral. Because at 18, you should start saving your own funeral money.
That's right. That's right.
That just make them grow up. That's all it does. I remember Ed, without getting too deep into his business, was like a mama. Can I say that? You were like a mama to your son?
No, you can't say that.
Well, everybody know. Everybody knows him because we talked about it in church before. But he was like a mama to his son for years. I'm like, Ed, let this boy go. Oh, no, I can't. Well, what about with the mistakes I made? Ed, let the boy go. Oh, no. And his wife was like, honey, let him go. No, you just don't understand.
Yeah.
His wife was a better man than him. I'm like, Ed, for years, don't spend money on him. Let him go suffer. And the son learned his weak ways. He just manipulated Ed like not going nowhere. Right here.
Yeah. Quick, come to an end, will you? Tell the good parts. I want him sweating.
He said, I want to hear the good Ed. And so finally, after about, 30 years, he finally let the boy go, and the boy is doing fine on his own, making his own stupid mistakes, not getting money from his father. I saw him at the Patreon. I mean, what was that thing in Pasadena? Politicon. And he was in line to go see one of the top dogs there with some pretty girls with him. Had a nice haircut. I'm like, who are you? He's like, this is Sean. And when Ed was taking care of me, he looked like a bum. And when Ed left him alone, he started looking sharp, hanging out with pretty women at Politicon. And I'm like, wow. So you're hurting your children about holding on to them. God don't like you for that. So he let go and the boy's doing fine. Right there.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
True. Painful, very painful experience.
Yeah.
Before, after, during.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was painful all the way around, like before, during, not so much after.
Yeah. It was like a mama pain, huh?
You get confused because for a long time I was a single dad, so it's very confusing about what you're supposed to be doing. You got to go to work, then you got to take care of it. It gets all messed up. But then I remember the key discussion we had, and I said, all right, look, I really don't see what you're talking about. And I didn't. And I just said, let me just do it. I'll just take the advice. And it was the best thing I did. But I literally did not see what you were talking about. I couldn't grasp it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, I kept thinking it was wrong. And that was the part that was really interesting to me. I think you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
That moment.
Believe me.
It was really fascinating.
I'm really glad that it happened, though, because now Ed is financially indebted to me for the rest of my life. Whenever I need money, I know where to go. No, but he let this man go, and now this man is becoming a man.
Yeah, there's definitely improvement you can see on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, there's even better news than you know. So yeah.
Wow.
Good. He's got a house now.
See there?
So.
My grandmother, here's the way you raise your children. While they're growing up, teach them to be responsible, make them clean their rooms, take the trash out, do their homework, feed them, house them, clothe them, but make them work along the way. Make them, when they get 15, go cut the grass. Because at the time we didn't have grass, so we had to cut down trees and pick cotton and do that stuff. But make them do stuff all the way through their lives, but on the way, just remind them, when you're 18, you're out of here. All right? Just tell them the rest of it all the way through. At 18, you're out of here. I'm preparing you by not spoiling you, but teaching you to work, teaching you to think and make your little mistakes. And I'm here to answer the questions if you have some. But at 18, you're out of here. And if they want to know where they're going, they say, I don't know and I don't care, but you're out of here. And at 18, they have that mindset and they're gone. And they don't think you're throwing them out. They don't think you're being mean. But you're able to let them go because you taught them in the right way to go. The worst thing is not to prepare them from day one up to 18. I'm not paying for your college education. If you want to go to college, get a job. You go to work if you want to play whatever sport. You go to work and play sport if you want to. But you go to work because you're out of here. And they appreciate that in the long run. They really will. But parents are not doing that. They're weakening their children. But when you let them go, they feel so much better. Yes, Frankie. So I'm proud of you, Ed.
Thank you.
Two things. The young man over there that fell in love with this girl, I mean, I kind of went through that before. And through your eyes, you know, you tend to want things that you shouldn't have, that you shouldn't have, that you should not have. And, you know, that's the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet, and you pay for that. Because you
It's
shouldn't
not
have
even
that.
your woman. It's somebody else's woman.
Especially want it more when you can't have it because you can't have it. So that's what you're drawn to. And the other thing about your thoughts,
Does she live in your neighborhood?
No.
Where does she live?
No, she lives somewhere else.
She live in the white people community.
No.
the farther
Right.
away, the better. The farther away, the more you want them because you can't get to them.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. The other, about your thoughts and how your thoughts run away from you, especially if you don't spend a day to kind of do nothing because you want to work and you'll continue to work, and working makes you think about a lot of things, and you'll just be thinking and working all the wrong things. And basically, if you don't have a Sabbath day where you kind of rest, where you rest your body and rest your mind, then you'll go crazy the other way, and it'll always be wrong and too much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you need that time down. All right. Let me just, and I know I saw a whole bunch of other hands. Oh, James, there's somebody on the internet too, right? Mm-hmm. Let me have that. Then I need to read a list of don't do's to you.
Okay, hold on. We've had quite a few. Okay, somebody asked, Joe is asking, is there any difference between imagination and expectation?
No, they're both deceivers. Have no expectation and have no imagination. You'll do much better in life.
Okay, Esteban, this is kind of similar. Esteban is asking,
The one behind you?
no, the one in Arizona,
Oh.
the good one. Just kidding. He's asking, is there two ways of thinking, imagination and intuition? How do you know the difference between the deceiver's voice and when you're pondering the things of God as opposed to being deceived about God? You follow that?
Let's repeat it.
Is there two ways of thinking?
Yeah.
You follow, now you follow what I said.
One way is the devil's thoughts in your mind. Every thought in your imagination is from the deceiver. And the other way is revelation. It's seeing things. You don't think about them, you see them. And if you don't see them, don't do them. Leave it alone. Just do what you seek to do right in front of you. Don't look for tomorrow. Don't think about yesterday. You want to see things. You don't want to think things. That's the difference.
I have another question that a few people have been asking about, like relationships and friendships and family ships. For example, B. Ham is asking, I have decided no longer to associate with my brother. He has no love for anyone who doesn't agree with his narcissistic, selfish views. Am I wrong? Do I owe him more? He's full of anger. I have voiced to him that I love and forgive him, but I have no place for him in my life. I am feeling that I may owe him more, though.
Well, if you have a feeling that you owe him more, it's because you have not forgiven him. Because once you forgive someone, you don't ever feel like you owe them anything. You don't owe, there's no guilt, no anything, because you've truly forgiven. You realize that they can't help themselves as you couldn't help yourself. Only guilty people feel like they owe you something. Oh, I have to stay with my old mama because she raised me. You ever heard that before? I feel so guilty leaving my old mama. And then you hate mama. When no one is around, you put in the wheelchair, you lock them in the closet somewhere, right? But if you forgive, and your parents, you get old, If you want to do something for them, you do it because you love them naturally, not out of a sense of guilt, because you want to. I know so many young people who are being manipulated by their old parents because their parents, they have not forgiven their parents for what they've done to them. And so they try to get away, but they feel guilty, and they think that guilt is love, and they owe it to the mama or the daddy, and they end up going back and doing it, and they're unhappy. You got to truly forgive so God can set you free, and everything you do out of love because it's the right thing to do. So this person needs to forgive. She hasn't been forgiven. Yes, Jay?
Last question. Where does it say in the Bible to know thyself?
It's in there somewhere. Don't be asking me that. I just know it's in there. Find it for yourself. Where is it?
It's
How can a person
located.
ask me that? Go look it up.
It's located.
It's so easy to find stuff in the Bible now. Yes.
2 Corinthians 13, verse 5. Examine yourself as to whether you are in the faith. Test yourself. Do you not know yourself that Jesus Christ is in you?
Okay. You got it. What was it again?
2 Corinthians 13.
2 Corinthians.
2 Corinthians.
Yeah, 2 Corinthians.
13, verse
2 Corinthians 13.
verse 5.
Verse 5. You had some better mark.
No.
Oh, okay. So that's where it is. Don't ask me where it is. Just look it up. Some things you can do for yourself, right? Yes. You had your hand, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, real fast. And then I got to read this stuff down.
Jesse, sometimes when I'm trying to let go, I find my thoughts affecting my emotions, and
Yeah.
sometimes my emotions affecting my thoughts.
Yes.
And it's kind of confusing. Okay, which one should I tackle first? Or...
Neither. Relax in them both. Because when it's happened, a thought came, you didn't see it, and it caused you to feel. And now you notice that you're feeling, and while you're paying attention to the feelings, some more thoughts are coming and feed into the feelings. So just watch the thoughts, take the pain, and do nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Don't
All right.
judge it. Don't say I'm failing. Don't say I'm succeeding. Don't say this is right or this is wrong. Let go and let God. That make sense? It's spiritual. There's nothing we can do. I want to send you back to your, excuse me, to your childhood when we knew these things before we were corrupted. We knew this as children. We knew not to fight, but let the Father take care of it. We really did. And so that's why God wants you, don't go that way, return back to me. And I'll establish your way again. The Father, thus says God. Yes, sir.
Going back to the kicking the boys out at 18, does that apply to girls too?
Nowadays, yes, because they ain't gonna get no husband. In the older days, they wouldn't throw the girls out because the girls were suspected to leave with a husband. You know, she had a father and mother until she become of age. Then she get married. Then she go out and become a wife and a mother. But nowadays, the men are no good. So they're never gonna, not never. It's hard to find a good man. And so it's best to train your girls that way too. You want to prepare them not to hate, but to be ready to live on your own. Because the likelihood, especially nowadays, the men are getting worse. The men are literally turning into drag queens. So what chances do they have, you know? So you better prepare. And then the guys are so weak anyway, those that are not turning into drag queens. So yes, prepare your children. With love, though, don't teach them to hate anybody, just show them the right way. So here's some things not to do if you want to get better in life. Number one, you gotta cut out the sex thing before marriage. You got to stop this, folks. Sex now before marriage is so commonly taught that it almost seems normal. And now they want to teach it to fourth graders. And there are public schools who are paying buku money for people to come in and teach fourth grader about sex. while at the same time calling you up for a fundraiser for money for sports. Did you know about this? They're raising money for football games while spending money to teach fourth graders about sex. The worst thing that you can do in life is have sex before marriage. I'm telling you. It puts you in darkness and changes everything. It awakens your emotions and confuses you. The worst thing you can do is to have sex before marriage. And then the worst thing on top of that is to teach children or even allow them to have sex before marriage. You have to prevent your children from doing that, because everybody's teaching them now that it is. When you look at commercials and all that stuff, it's about sex before marriage. They got this one commercial on TV where apparently the women can buy a little that machine thing and insert it into their body before having sex. And so you see this man meet woman, and they're coming out of the cafe, about to go into the hotel room, and this light bulb come on for the woman just before she get in bed. Oh, did I insert my thing? And the woman's not even married, the man's not married. That's evil. We should not have ever allowed children to be taught to have sex. That is okay, but it's out of control, and it's messing up everything. It really is. It puts you in darkness. It awakens your emotions. It causes you to become subject to one another, and the fights break out. And then you start cheating, and then you start this and that. God said be married before sex. He didn't let Adam and Eve have sex before he married them, so he could be with them. It's going to be tough even under the umbrella of marriage, but at least you have a way out. When you have sex before marriage, you're getting married in hell already. You're not getting married in heaven. You don't have a chance. You're getting married in hell. And some people say, oh, I know what I'm doing. No, you don't. You really don't. Just wait until you stop having sex. You realize what you were doing was evil. It really was. But you won't know it until you come out of it. It's like being a drunk all of your life, and then all of a sudden you stop drinking. You realize, oh, I was in darkness and didn't know it. Stop, don't promote it, don't go along with it. And when the children of the lie promote it, don't agree with it. Don't care what they say. You do have a right to stay away from sex and to keep your children away from it. It's your responsibility. And the other thing, woman raised to, hopefully I can put this on the show tomorrow. There's a woman that was raised by a lesbian couple who is now an adult. She's in her early 20s. And she's speaking at a church in London somewhere, overseas. And she's talking about how devastating that was for her to be raised by two women, calling themselves two mamas. And what happened, I guess they put her in a tube and had her, however they do it, right? So they put this child in a tube, and they made a baby. And she was raised without her father. And she said even as a little girl, she had a yearning for her father. And that the lesbian couple and everybody around left out that aspect of her life. But in her, she knew she wanted her father. And it wasn't until she became an adult and connected with her father, she found her father, that she found peace. Isn't that an amazing story? This homosexual parents thing does not work. Children need their natural born father and mother, not a fake stepfather, not a fake mama, stepmama. They need the real deal. God set it up that way. Nothing else is going to work. Just because you try to make it sound nice and loving, that doesn't mean it's working. Because they have a way of making these things sound so sweet. Oh, I'm with a loving step-parents. My step-parents are so loving, but they don't feel your soul. You don't connect with them soully, spiritually. It does not work. It does not work. It would be like, if that worked, then you could just yearn for Satan. instead of God. Satan pretended to be a good God. If an imitation worked, why would it work with Satan? Everybody loves Satan. And the other thing, so no lesbian parents and no step parents. We got to do it right if we want to have it come out right. Faking a right, faking a wrong, pretending that it's right, does not work. Either you're going to get on board and live your life in the right way, or you're going to suffer. What else?
One question about that.
I want to just knock this out because I'm out of time. School teaching sex ed. Okay, and if schools are teaching sex ed to your children, you are to blame for that. Because as parent, you can take your children out of those schools. And the teachers don't care. It's not their responsibility. If you let them kill the soul of your children, you are responsible. God's not going to say, oh, that teacher is responsible. He gave those children to you. That make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. A woman. Oh, I got a call this week from a woman from South Korea. You know where that is? It's right next door to North Korea. But she's here in America. And somebody had recommended she sees some of my YouTube channels. And she told me about the devastation she's gone through with her parents. And these happen to be adopted parents who adopted her from South Korea here in America. And she said her life was hell. And so I counseled with her, and at the end she said, you know, you talk about what mothers do to children. And she was speaking that Japanese, that Korea kind of talk. Like, oh, señor, no. Oh, how you speak Korea? You know, because I could hardly understand her, but she was so sweet, I had to understand her. And she said, I want to thank you for pointing out what these mothers are doing. She's like, you're the only one that does that. My mother was, she said a word I can't use, was that in the home. I always felt like it was my father, but it was my mother. And when you said it, the light came on for me. And she said, now I got away from them, I left them, and I'm feeling guilty. Should I go back and help or do something? I'm like, go back and apologize. She's like, oh, no. I said, yeah, you got to go back and deal with your mother. That's where you lost your innocence. That's where you became afraid. So you got to face the fear and overcome. So she said she would go back and deal with her and forgive her and then see what happened. But you got to face your mothers. That doesn't mean the fathers are perfect because we're pointing out the mothers. We always pointed out the father, ain't nobody getting better. Have you noticed that the people who are getting better are the ones who are going back and forgiving their mothers? When we've been told all our lives it's the fathers, we yearn for the fathers and we hate the mothers. You got to forgive them so you can love them in the right way. And we're supposed to honor our parents and love our parents, but if you have any iota of anger, you cannot love like that. You got to forgive. Then you can love them and deal with them in the right way. So she's a nice lady. Dating online. Dating online, I hate to tell you. Sorry, guys. You got to cut it out. How do you fall in love with somebody online? You never seen. You're just talking to them, and then you see a picture of them. You don't even know if that's them or not. I've talked with several men and women who saw the picture online, went to the cafe, and it wasn't the same person. Seek first the kingdom of God in His right way, and the date will come. Really, it will all be added unto you, and it'll be the right person. Don't be going with all this mess from the world. Let life happen naturally. It will happen. It happened for me, and we didn't even have a TV at times. And I met so many women. It'll come. It is weakness to go online to date. It's like being at the bar and you want to talk to a woman and your buddy say, hey, go and talk to her. Like, no, you go talk to her for me. The online is doing the talking for you, and you end up without the woman because it's a fake. I know several men and women who've gotten married to online dating, and they're catching hell. People lie online. They lie in person, but at least you see the lie. Let's go back to being natural in life. Everything will happen naturally if we return to naturality. Isn't that right? Oh, good. Okay, I have just two more. If we don't have anger and listen to get rid of your anger. Really, I'm telling you, then you become as a little child. You got to forgive so that you can be free from the world, in it, but not of it. I have two young friends who can't get dates because they scared of women. And so every weekend they just have to order by Uber or go and sit at a cafe and talk to each other. And they feel like they went out and had a party. But anyway, get rid of the anger, you won't have the fear, and you can deal with anybody in any situation. You must forgive so you can return to courage. You can return to God. You can be in the world. Oh, this is what they said. They said they were in the world, but not of it. And I'm like, you're right. And nobody else knows you're in the world because women don't see you. Nobody's talking to you. You're right, you're not of it. But get rid of the anger. I beg of you. Just do it and see what happens. You would never want to return to hell again. But you cannot live right with anger. And a good example of having anger, every time something happens, or most of the time something happens to you, you make up excuses, you have anger. And there's nothing worse than a man with a bucket of excuses. Oh, no, I didn't do that. Oh, why me? You know. And so don't do that, men and women. And the last thing. Oh, this is the last one. Parents, I beg of you, do not allow your children to live in your home with a man or a woman and not married. I'm stunned at the number of parents who allow their young children and older children to live in their homes, have sex together, and the parents don't care. Or the parents care, but they're so addicted to the children that they won't throw them out. Do you know how much disrespect that is to the parents, to what is right, to the children, how you're destroying your own children's souls? At least let them have some shame about doing that in front of you. They need something to try to guide them. And if they don't like it, that's on them. But somebody got to help their conscience because they've lost it. What kind of parent? I would have never thought of bringing a girlfriend home and staying overnight in my grandmother's house or grandfather. I don't know one time when my uncles left home or my aunts, when they would come back to see mama, they brought a woman or man that they were not married to and stayed in the house. That was like, are you crazy? That's so much disrespect to everything. You don't love your children and they don't love you. You don't respect them and they don't respect you. When you go that low, that is low. Who can have sex in front of mom and daddy? That's like animals. Isn't that like animals? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking of that we have sank so low as human beings. Just think about this. We are created in the image of God. Our nature, our soul is the image of the creator of all things. And yet, we're falling away from him and acting like animals. Cruel to one another, gossip about one another, hate one another, lie to one another, sleep with one another, drink and get high and smoke and just mean. Like wild animals, not like children who are sons and daughters of the creator of all things. Isn't that like amazing? That's where we're going in this world today. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. Oh, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everything. we need your financial support. We got to move and all that good stuff. And so go to rebuildingdemand.com. Also, you can call 800-411-BOND to make a donation. We really need as much money as we can raise it because we got to get a building now. All right? And what else? Have a good, we'll see you on the radio tomorrow as well. Tune in. All right. Bye. Thank you, guys.